They're off. Along the inside for the early lead goes Skip Bo. Driving out in the middle of the track for position was Dewhaven Pete. On the outside coming away as they look for position, G White Sox. And into the turn they go up on the outside. That's G White Sox to challenge Dewhaven Pete for the early. Skip Bo is third, racing in fourth position. Snow Sammy. Ideal Rorty is fifth, racing in sixth after a quarter mile. Berna's Radar, the quarter, 28 4 off. Stride in the rear there was Winfield. They go to the 3/8 pole on the front end. The leader by a length and a half now is G White Sox, racing second to the half-mile pole on the inside. That's Dewhaven Pete. Moving up to be third to the backside comes Snow Sammy. Racing up to be fourth now is Mark Time. They go off the half-mile in 1:01. Snow Sammy takes the lead, racing in second. G White Sox. Mark Time comes on third. Racing up to be fourth is Ryan's Rainbow. In fifth to the 3/4 mile pole on the rail. That's Dewhaven Pete. That's Mark Time on the outside, taking the lead. Snow Sammy is second, racing in third. Round the turn goes Ryan's Rainbow. Mark Time leads by 2.5 lengths. Pacing in second position is Snow Sammy. Dewhaven Rainbow is third. Racing fourth, Berna's Radar. They're in the lane. The leader by 3 lengths now is Mark Time. Snow Sammy is second on the outside. Berna's Rainbow is third. It's Mark Time easily. Field moves into the club turn. They're off. From between horses, Trading Joe out fast for the early lead, alongside by Gosh by Golly. Hurricane on the wood on the outside. Bel Ragazzo moves up. Coming away fifth as they drive into that first turn was Hayaku. And around the turn they go. Up on the outside by Gosh by Golly takes the lead. On the move now is Bel Ragazzo. They go off the 1/4 mile. 28 3, that's Bel Ragazzo racing up on the outside to take command. Racing in second by Gosh by Golly. In third position as they go to the 3/8 pole. That's Trading Joe on the outside. Moving up to be fourth now is Megabyte. They swing around the turn. The leader is Bel Ragazzo on the outside. Megabyte comes on to be second. Racing along the rail third by Gosh by Golly. Into the game fourth is Little Bev, the half-mile, 1:05. On the outside challenging is Megabyte, holding the rail. Bel Ragazzo racing third by Gosh by Golly. In fourth as they go to the 3/4 mile pole now. That's Little Bev on the inside. Fifth, Trading Joe on the outside. That's Lenga sixth. Telestrator is seventh, Hurricane eighth. Trailing the field as they go by the 3/4 mile pole. That's Hayaku. They turn for home on the front end. Bel Ragazzo shows the way by 2 open lengths. From far back closing ground, second is Lengus. On the far outside, Telestrator. The leader is Bel Ragazzo. That's Telestrator on the outside with Hayaku closing. Bel Ragazzo, Hayaku on the outside. They're off. That's the Midnight Eagle between horses. Lake Hills Jeb came away well. Down along the rail, the Thorn Eagle, and into the first turn. Lake Hills Jeb takes the lead. Thorn Eagle moves up second, racing in third. Thorn Eagle on the outside fourth as they move over to the quarter. Little Jake in fifth position. Skipper Ram as they enter the stretch the first time. Up on the outside to get that lead is the Midnight Eagle. Racing in second position and out of second now goes Lake Hills Jeb, and Lake Hills Jeb takes the lead. The Midnight Eagle is second, Thorn Eagle third, Skipper Ram fourth, Little Jake fifth, racing sixth, Barter Brett on the outside seventh, Buck 380 Penetrate is eighth, and trailing the field, Dice 6. Into the half mile, Lake Hills Jeb's had the best of it. He still does. A length. Racing second, the Midnight Eagle. In third position, Thorn Eagle. Racing fourth, Skipper Ram on the outside fifth. That's Barter Brett. Into the three quarters, Lake Hills Jeb maintains a length lead on the Midnight Eagle, who's second. Thorn Eagle is third. On the outside, Barter Brett fourth, moving up to be fifth, Buck 380. Down along the rail, Skipper Ram 3/4, 129 and 3. The leader is Lake Hills Jeb. That's Thorn Eagle now coming on second. Down along the rail, the Midnight Eagle. It's Lake Hills Jeb, the leader. Thorn Eagle closing ground on the outside second. Midnight Eagle is third. It's Lake Hills Jeb, the leader. Thorn Eagle and Midnight Eagle closing. Lake Hills Jeb and Midnight Eagle.
Fields on the turn. They're off. There goes Mighty Vale for the lead between horses. Highway came away. Moving up on the far outside goes Chocolate Over. They move into the first turn. Highway shows the way a length. Mighty Vale out there in second. Racing in third on the inside, Puppets Princess. Chocolate Over parked out there in fourth, with Sheer Gold racing in fifth. Entering the stretch now the first time, and Highway has a short lead. Now Mighty Vale on the outside takes command. They're by the quarter, 28 and 4. Mighty Vale takes the lead a length and a half. Up on the outside, here's Chocolate Over to be second. Highway back to third. Puppets Princess is fourth. Sheer Gold racing in fifth. In sixth position, that's Letter Perfect by about 4. Garzone is seventh. Racing in eighth, that's That Old Feeling. Polino Anthony ninth, and far back trailing after a break, Dancing Sunrise. They move over to the half-mile pole, and Chocolate Over has gotten the lead a length and a quarter. Mighty Vale right there in second. They're by the half, 58 and 4. They settle down the backstretch. Chocolate Over a length and a quarter. Mighty Vale right there in second. Highway is third. Here's Sheer Gold on the move fourth. Off stride down the backstretch is Garzone. For the final 3/8 of a mile, Chocolate Over has it a length. Up on the outside, Sheer Gold challenging second. Mighty Vale on the inside third. Letter Perfect out there in fourth. Highway back to fifth. Polino Anthony comes on sixth. They move by the three quarters in 1:30 and 1. On the front end with a short lead, that's Chocolate Over racing in second, Sheer Gold. They turn for home. Chocolate Over a length and a quarter. Sheer Gold on the outside second, racing in third, Mighty Vale by 2.5. Highway is fourth with Letter Perfect fifth. Through the stretch, Chocolate Over by 3. Mighty Vale on the inside racing in second with Sheer Gold out there in third. A late move by Polino Anthony. That's Chocolate Over in front.
They're off. Fine start with Matt Jr. between horses. Badger State Boyfriend on the wood. Coming away fourth as they drive into the turn. Egyptian Senor. Badger State takes the lead up on the outside. Matt Jr. to be second. The Boyfriend third. Egyptian Senor fourth. Hung out there fifth as they go over to the quarter mile. Bill Houston down to the quarter mile. The leader by a length is Badger State. Now the Boyfriend moves up to get the lead. Egyptian Senor moves up third. Racing in fourth to the 3/8 pole is Matt Jr. In fifth is Bill Houston. Racing in sixth, Me Brother. On the outside, Native Leader is seventh. The Late Kills Grandpa eighth, and Red My Boy. The new leader, Egyptian Senor, as they go to the half-mile mark. On the outside, Badger State's underway. Along the rail, the Boyfriend, Matt Jr. drives up as they go to the 3/4. On the front end, the leader by 2 is Egyptian Senor. The Boyfriend is second. Badger State going backwards third. Now third along the rail is Matt Jr. down along the rail. That's Late Kills Grandpa. They go to the 3/4. Egyptian Senor stays out there by 2.5 lengths. The Boyfriend is second. Matt Jr. is third. Racing in fourth round the turn comes Bill Houston. They're in the stretch. On the front end, Egyptian Senor leads by 4 lengths. On the outside, Matt Jr. along the rail, the Boyfriend. It's Egyptian Senor holding firm, racing in second, Boyfriend, but it's Egyptian Senor. Fails on the turn. They're off. That's Sam Storm and Holiday Mountain for the early lead. Rushing up in the middle of the track comes the Granville Whitey with Charvet on the outside and into the turn. Taking the early lead now is Holiday Mountain. Granville Whitey is second. Charvet out there third. Sam Storm is fourth. Racing in fifth position, Rave Along, Special Equipment sixth. To Della Bromac and Hot Tomato. They go off the quarter. 27-2. They're cooking. It's Charvet taking the lead. Sam Storm moves up on the outside to be second. The Granville Whitey is third, racing in fourth position. Holiday Mountain on the outside. Special Equipment fifth. To Della Bromac comes on sixth, racing in seventh. Rave Along on the outside eighth. That's the Hot Tomato. Then it's Fabian Blue Chip and La Habra Almahurst, the half 56 and a fifth over to the 3/4. Sam Storm, 3/4 of a length. Special Equipment Racing second. Along the rail, Charvid third. To Della Bromac out there fourth. Racing into fifth is Holiday Mountain down along the rail. The Granville Whitey, their double-deckered Sam Storm, 3 parts of a length. Special Equipment continues to gain ground, second to 3/4. 125-3, they turn for home on a short lead. Sam Storm Charlotte along the rail needs an out to Della Bromac out in the middle of the track comes on. It's Sam Storm, the leader, to Della Bromac. Here comes the Holiday Mountain cooking up a wicked brew. That's the Holiday Mountain getting the lead. Fails on the turn. They're off. Along the inside for the early lead goes Entrepreneur. Kathmandu came away. Driving up in the middle of the track goes J.D.'s Glen. And around the turn up on the outside now to take the lead is Windy Top. J.D.'s Glen racing second, in third Kathmandu. Entrepreneur is fourth, racing in fifth to the quarter-mile pole. Special Agent with Threshold 6 out of the hole goes J.D.'s Glen up to get that lead. It's J.D.'s Glen, the leader, racing in second to the 3/8 Windy Top. In third position now, passing the stands. Kathmandu on the move is Entrepreneur fourth, racing in fifth to the half-mile pole on the outside. Special Agent with Threshold 6. Racing in seventh, Lightning Henry, Silverdale Lad, and Tor Guard. They go to the half-mile. J.D.'s Glen, the leader, up on the outside. Entrepreneur is now second. It's J.D.'s Glen, the leader. Entrepreneur out there second, gaining ground. Along the rail third to the 3/4-mile pole comes the Windy Top on the outside fourth. That's the Special Agent. They go to the 3/4. The leader by a length into the upper turn is J.D.'s Glen on the outside. Gaining ground is Entrepreneur second. They turn for home. It's J.D.'s Glen on a short lead. Entrepreneur out there second with Special Agent coming on third. In the lane, horses fanning out. The leader is J.D.'s Glen, racing up to be second through the stretch. Comes Entrepreneur on the outside third. Special Agent with Silverdale Lad. The leader is J.D.'s Glen. Special Agent out there second, J.D.'s Glen. Fails on the turn. They're off. That's Johnny A. Heritage with Ritmo between horses. Charge plate along the inside. Then it's Positive Yankee and Sammy Blue Chip. They go over to the 8th. Ritmo on the inside. Johnny A. Heritage on the outside. They battle it out. Racing in third to the 1/4-mile pole goes Charge plate. Johnny A. Heritage takes the lead. Look at this quarter. 26 4/5. That's the fastest quarter ever paced here. 26 4. The leader is Johnny A. Heritage by 4 lengths. Racing in second is Ritmo. In third is Charge Plate. Positive Yankee fourth, trailing the field. Sammy Blue Chip over to the half mile. Johnny A. Heritage leads by 3. Ritmo Racing second. Charge played a closer third. The half mile 55 3/5. It's Johnny A. Heritage 2.5 lengths. Racing in second is Ritmo in third to the 3/4. The Charge Plate Positive Yankee comes on fourth. Sammy Blue Chip takes out of last. They've got 3/8 of a mile remaining. Johnny A. Heritage leads a length and a half. Up on the outside, Positive Yankee to be second. They go off the 3/4. 125 and a tick. That's Positive Yankee on the outside, challenging Johnny A. Heritage. Ritmo along the rail. Here comes Sammy Blue Chip. They're in the lane. It's Positive Yankee taking the lead. Sammy Blue Chip on the outside. It's Sammy Blue Chip. The leader, Ritmo, moves up second, but it's Sammy Blue Chip. At mile, ladies and gentlemen, a new track record. It's a new... Field moves into the club turn. They're off. That's Mike's Fighter and Polo's Rusty for the early lead. Coming away third as they look for position. Just Gus, and into that turn they go. Mike's Fighter, the leader. Just Gus out there second. Polo's Rusty tucks third. Racing in fourth to the quarter-mile juncture goes GA's Buddy with Mendota's Best fifth. Racing in sixth. Luff Mass, they move off the quarter-mile. 27 4/5. The leader is Just Gus. Mike's Fighter Racing second. In third position past the stands the first time. Polo's Rusty, GA's Buddy is fourth on the outside, coming on to be fifth to the half mile. That's Luff Mask. They drive in for the half mile. Just Gus leads Polo's Rusty up to challenge second. Mike's Fighter is third, racing in fourth. Luff Mask in fifth position after a half mile. Comes GA's Buddy, Foxy Legacy sixth. Mendota's Best is seventh. Meadow Rainbow eighth. The trailing horse, Bravado Knight. The leader is Just Gus, a length on the outside. Polo's Rusty racing second. In third, Mike's Fighter. Racing fourth to the 3/4 goes Luff Mask. Into the 3/4, Just Gus is under a high rein. He's 2 on top, rough gated. It's Just Gus, the leader. Racing in second, Polo's Rusty. Mike's Fighter is third. Bravado Knight fourth in the lane. It's Just Gus, the leader by 3 lengths. Racing in second position on the far outside, Luff Mask. Closing ground is GA's Buddy with the rush. That's GA's Buddy moving through with Luff Mask. A driving finish, Luff Mask.